10 hidden secrets many still haven't found in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Welcome back to Warzone Central. Let's get into the video. Number 10, drop at the right spot. To drop pot and survive at Superstore, it is essential that you land at the best spot you possibly can. The optimal landing will vary per game, as it will depend on the initial flight path. As a general rule, you will want to drop directly at the entrance. These will often be contested, but getting inside first will set you up nicely. In some instances, it may be best to drop on the roof. This is particularly true if you are not the first squad to make it into the Superstore. Positioning yourself on the roof will allow you to get a weapon and wait to see where the most action is. From there, you can plan accordingly. Number 9, get a weapon immediately. It is rare that you will survive dropping hot at Superstore without obtaining a weapon. It is possible to sneak around with a pistol, but you'll find skirmishes much easier with a half-decent gun. Ideally, you should focus on getting a submachine gun because of the Superstore's CQB nature. Fast reload times, rate of fire, and ADS are all key to outgunning your opponents in Superstore. Some assault rifles such as the Kilo 141 can also be effective, but in general, SMG should be prioritized. Number 8, stick with your squad. You should always stick with your team when playing Warzone. This applies across the entire map, but particularly so at Superstore. You may see pros ignoring this advice, but they are often superior to the average player and can handle multiple enemies at once. Drop with your squad, enter Superstore, kill enemies with them, and then leave with them. Sticking to your comrades like glue will increase your chances of winning. This is key because without backup, you can find yourself easily flanked by multiple foes. Number 7, communication. Communication is essential in any team-based game mode. Relaying key information between your squad vastly increases your odds of winning because they can prepare and react accordingly. In Superstore, fights happen in an instant. Due to this, there isn't much time to alert your team. Thus, it is paramount you understand the need for communication. Coming up with certain terms can greatly aid with this. If you have broken an enemy shield, shout "shield broke" or something similar. This will help your team understand when they can attack, push forward, or retreat. Inexperienced players often forget the ping system, which is very useful for communicating with people who aren't on the mic. Most squads who drop at Superstore are communicating, and you should too. Number 6, turn your volume up really loud. Many pros, and even some casuals, use special headsets that allow them to hear any noises in the vicinity clearly. Why? Because noise itself is information. Being able to gather a clear picture in Superstore will help you survive more often. You don't need an expensive headset either. You can simply turn on the volume of your TV or monitor up enough that you can hear the audio cues. Footsteps in particular can be heard clearly on louder volumes. Should you hear footsteps in, front, or behind you, then you already have an advantage because you know where your opponent is. Number 5, choose the right area to fight from. Positioning yourself is paramount to success in Superstore. There are many entrances that enemies can enter or exit from. Choosing the right spot for each engagement could decide whether you win or lose a fight. For example, there is an upstairs room in Superstore that can only be accessed from a single entrance outside. It is ideal to retreat as well, or even jump enemies from. This is because it has a window that overlooks people on the inside looting. Should you spy some people busy grabbing loot, you could easily wipe them out from this spot before they realize what is happening. Just remember, it is important to understand when to be aggressive and when to lay low in Warzone. Number 4, place explosives at key locations. It is common to see players randomly drop explosives on the floor near notable locations. This can sometimes be indicative of a less experienced player. However, these random explosive placements can be more useful than you first realize. Warzone is a game relying on information. When an explosive detonates, the person who placed it is alerted. As such, dropping a claymore or proximity mine behind a closed door could help you out massively. If an enemy hastily enters Superstore and it triggers an explosive, then you will know which door they have entered through. Thus, the advantage is now with you. Number 3, use your tactical equipment wisely. Tactical equipment can make all the difference when dropping hot at Superstore. A heartbeat sensor will allow you to track enemy movement and position yourself accordingly. A smoke grenade will enable you to push, retreat, or survive a teammate in high-pressure situations. A flash or stun grenade could always whiz by you all the time you need to attack or fall back. Number 2, choose your angles carefully. Superstore is notorious for its unforgiving angles. It features many tight corners and restricted pathways that are difficult to navigate effectively. From your end, you could have barely popped your head around a corner, but from your opponent's end, you may have been more exposed than you thought. As such, when dropping at Superstore, you should always be mindful of where you are moving. Make sure that if you get caught out, you have enough time and cover to move backward. Most importantly, remember the angles that are just